right, so you want to be a real estate agent just like on TV. You've been watching $1 Million Listing and Selling Sunset and Selling Beverly Hills and whatever other shows they have, and you are ready to sell those expensive homes and earn those big fat commission checks, right? Well, not so fast, cowboy. Here are 9 things that you need to know before you get your real estate license so that you can shortcut your way to success and achieve all of your personal goals and live the dream life that you want to and deserve to live in real estate. Let's rock and roll. All right, number 1, I believe that real estate is the absolute best business in the entire world. In fact, I left a cush 6-figure job as an attorney to go get my real estate broker's license. And you might be thinking to yourself, Danny, why? That's crazy. Real estate is not the best business. But let me tell you why it is. If you do it right. And that right there is the key, my friends. Okay, so why is it? Number 1, you have unlimited income potential. You can make as much money as you want. And most importantly for me and for entrepreneurs like you is that your income is not tied to the number of hours that you work. See, when I was an attorney, I billed hours, which I hated, by the way. It was the worst thing ever. You had to write down your time in 10 or 15-minute increments. It was terrible. But when you do that, what you're doing is you're trading time for money. The more hours I bill, the more money I make. The less hours I bill, conversely, the less money I make. As a real estate agent, those two are not tied together. Yes, you need to build a business. Yes, when you work more, in theory, you're going to make more money. But as I'm going to share with you on this video, there are also ways to create additional revenue streams, some of which are passive as a real estate agent if you do it right. So your money is not tied to the amount of time that you are working. Also, you get to set your own schedule when you do it right. You get to work with whoever you want to work with. You get to decide who your clients are. You can say no to people that you don't like. And my friends, most importantly, what I want to talk about here as far as your business is that you get to create the business that you want. You get to live your dream life when you do it right as a real estate agent. Now, of course, only a small percentage of real estate agents actually do it right. The statistics are not in your favor, but I want you to ignore all of those, because if you're watching this video and if you like it and you subscribe to the channel, then your chances of success are going to go way up and through the roof, because you're doing something to improve yourself and get better at what you're doing. All right, also, my friends, a couple of things I want to mention. Number 1, the barriers to entry to get into real estate are, of course, very low. And very, very importantly, the overhead cost is extremely low. I want to share a story with you. I have a friend of mine who's an owner of McDonald's franchises, okay? And when you own McDonald's franchises, the expenses, the inventory, the employees, the costs and barriers to entry are very, very high. Just to get into the business, you probably have to spend over $1 million. In real estate, what does it really cost you to get in the business? A couple $100 on your license and education requirements. You join the board, you create a website basically for free these days, or you just do some free social media and you're rocking and rolling and you're in business. So for all of those reasons, to me, real estate is absolutely the best business in the world. But the caveat, of course, is that you have to do it right. If you do it wrong, you end up like the agents that leave the business within a year or 2 years. And so, like I said, because you're watching this video, you're already one step ahead, but you gotta watch till the end, because all 9 of these pieces do fit together very well. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. If you're new here, I'm Danny, and my mission is to help you build an amazing real estate business that funds your dream life using my over 20 years of experience in the real estate business as a broker and team leader and coach. So if you're getting value from this video, I want to ask you for a quick favor. Hit that like button down below so YouTube sends this video out to the YouTube universe, and consider subscribing for more content just like this. Now back to the video. And that leads me to number 2. And the good news in real estate is that you are your own boss, but the bad news is that you're also your own boss. So remember way back in this video when I said that you get to set your own schedule? Well, you do, but the problem is that if you think you can work from 10 to 3 and not do anything else and become a millionaire in real estate, unless you got some rich parents, you inherited a bunch of money, or you have a lot of built-in clients from someone, you're gonna have a lot of trouble. So because you are your own boss, one of the other things that happens is that you get to control everything that you do. There really isn't accountability. Depending on which brokerage or team you join, and I will talk about that, of course, a little bit later, no one's going to tell you what to do. See, when I was an attorney, I had a boss. I had to be at the office at a certain time. I had to stay until a certain time, or I would get fired. If you've ever had a corporate job, you know what that feels like. But in real estate, that doesn't exist. So you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. No one's going to fire you as long as you keep paying those dues. And so because of that, you have to make sure that you're plugged into the right system and the right structure that's going to allow you to be successful. And that structure should include coaching, accountability, mentorship, and a system to get leads, to follow up on those leads, to close on those leads, and to make sure that you establish a sales pipeline of business. And on that note, my friends, what I want to do is I want to invite you, if this is resonating with you, if you're getting value from this, I want to invite you to book a free business consultation with me by using the link down in the description. What we're going to do on that call is we're going to chat about your business, whether you're a brand new agent or you're trying to get to $100,000 a year, or you want to scale a huge business to $1 million a year. I have done all of those things. I've owned brokerages, I've run teams, and I'm excited to share with you how I can help you build your business. If there's some fit for us to partner or work together, great, but there's no obligation. I have absolutely nothing to sell you, and I want to help you succeed. So book a business consultation and we'll chat about all of those things. Now, one of the questions I get here is, can you do real estate part-time, or do you have to be a full-time agent? That is actually a fantastic question. I will tell you that my answer has actually changed over the years. I used to believe that there is no other answer. You have to be a full-time agent or you have no chance of being successful. But then I actually met a lot of agents in my group that started as part-time agents and ended up transitioning when they had enough income and had enough clients and business to be full-time. And then, in fact, I actually thought back to my own experience, and that's how I started. I was an attorney and I was doing real estate on the side. When I saw that I could make enough income to replace my income and jump out on my own, I actually went ahead and did that. But there is an opportunity to be part-time, with the caveat and the catch being that you got to have a system and a structure around you that's going to help you become successful. If you try to do this thing solo on your own part-time, you may have a little bit of a challenge. All right, if after hearing those first two things, you still want to be a real estate agent, of course, you have to know how to actually go ahead and get your license. So I'm going to show you exactly what I did to get my license, which is simply to enroll in an amazing online real estate school. Let me show you the one that I recommend and the actual steps that you need to go through to get your license. Now, if you're already licensed, you could just go ahead and skip through this onto the next chapter. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to Calibri Real Estate, which is the online school that I highly, highly recommend. They are a great company. They're here to help you, and they have everything you need to get your license as quickly as possible. You can use the link in the description below to go ahead and jump onto their website. First thing you're going to do is you're going to pick your state. I'm already in Texas here, so I could show you what the Texas requirements are, but wherever you are, California, New York, Nevada, wherever it is, just go ahead and pick your state. And the first thing I want you to do is click License Requirements so that you are aware of what you need to do in order to get your license. That's going to take you to a page that looks like this. Mine is Texas Real Estate License Requirements, how to get your real estate license in Texas. And what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and read through exactly what you need to do. Calibri makes it so easy for you and tells you exactly what it is. So you have to be at least 18 years old, be a U.S. citizen or lawfully admitted alien, and then meet TREC's qualifications for et cetera, et cetera. Then you need to complete the pre-licensing education, which is what Calibri will do for you. Then you need to apply for your license, submit fingerprints, successfully pass the exam, et cetera, et cetera. This is going to be different in every state. So I want to make sure you understand that you need to go in and understand the requirements in your particular state. So as far as the education, once you know exactly what your license requirements are, you are going to pick one of these packages. Now, let me tell you, these are amazing prices. It's everything you need as far as pre-licensing education. And the differences are really going to come down to the features and benefits that you get. So the basics is just going to be all of the study and the courses that you need. When you take one step up, And this is what I do highly recommend, you guys, is that you do at least this one so that you get the simulated exams so that you know what the exam is going to look like. If you want to do a little bit more, you can also do a higher package that gives you live and interactive instructions and all kinds of post-licensing stuff. This one actually already includes your post-license continuing education requirements, which is kind of cool, but you definitely don't need that. But again, like I said, I would at least recommend that you do the one with the exam prep. And you guys, that's it. Just follow exactly what it says on the Calibri website. Don't try to do it yourself. Don't talk to a bunch of other people on how to do it and get into study groups. You don't need any of that. Do exactly what they say on the website, and you will have your license in no time. When you get your real estate license, I want you to carefully read what that license says, because that leads me to the next thing that you absolutely need to know before getting your license. And that is that your license will say that you are now a real estate salesperson. Salesperson. I want to emphasize that because most people do not understand that real estate is a sales job. And as a sales job, the most important thing in real estate as an agent or a broker, whichever license you get, is client attraction or prospecting or lead generation or sales, or whatever you want to call it, but attracting clients into your business. Because, my friends, without any clients, you have no business. And the interesting thing I want to share with you is that I know a lot of agents who don't really know the contract that well. They don't know a lot about the inner workings of the transaction. They don't know a lot of stuff, but what they are really good at, and this is what makes them millionaires, is that they can go out and get clients, and they focus their day around getting clients. When you understand that, when you really understand that concept and that principle, and you make prospecting or lead gen or client attraction the main part of your business, that is when you'll become extremely successful. Now, there are a lot of right ways to do this again, and there are a lot of wrong ways. There's old school prospecting, there's new school prospecting, but the idea is, as I mentioned earlier, you really want to plug into a great system that's going to allow you to adapt your lead generation or client attraction system to what you do best. And that is the way to succeed, because you shouldn't do what someone else tells you to do just because that's what they say to do. You should do what you are really good at, what you are really passionate about, and that is going to lead to your success. Now, one additional thing I do want to mention about real estate sales that is so important for you to know going into this amazing profession, and that is that real estate has a relatively long sales cycle. Here's what I mean by that. You know, in other professions, like I just actually purchased a car. When you go to the car dealer and you buy a car that day, that salesman can meet you, sell you a car, and probably get paid. I'm not sure how their commissions work. Probably get paid the same day or maybe a day later or a week later. That's not the case in real estate. In real estate, you might meet a client today. Maybe you go show them homes for 15 days or 30 days. Now, of course, they could buy something same day, but that's typically not the case. Then you go into an escrow period, which could last 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, and then you get paid. So the typical real estate sales cycle that I like to use is about 90 days from inception to close. And so going into real estate, you really need to be prepared for that sales cycle. Now, once you get going and you establish your pipeline of clients, you can have closings as often as you wish. But in the beginning, you just got to be ready for the fact that it is going to take a little bit of time to get going. It doesn't need to take 6 months, as some people say. It definitely does not need to take a year, but at the same time, it's not a 1 or 2 day thing. And I think that's very important to know. All right, next up, number 5 thing you need to know before you get your license is that as a real estate agent or a broker, you are actually a small business owner. And as a small business owner, at first, when you get your license, it doesn't have to be forever, but at first, you are going to be doing absolutely everything. So any job you can think of in a company, that is your responsibility. So whether that's the CEO, the CFO, the taxes, the marketing, the support, everything you are doing, unless you come into this and hire someone right away. But other than that, it's all you. Now, your goal, my friends, once you get your license, is to add leverage to your business as quickly and as efficiently as possible. What does that mean exactly? Well, the first thing that means is if you can afford it, you can hire an assistant or share an assistant or get a virtual assistant to do some of the administrative tasks or duties that maybe you should not be doing. And when it comes to things you should not be doing, I want you to remember this. In real estate, there are only 2 kinds of activities. There are money-making activities, non-money-making activities. Your money-making activities are things like client attraction, prospecting, you're making money, you're going on appointments, you're negotiating deals, you're showing property, and you're practicing all of your skills and your scripts and your dialogues. Those are all money-making activities. Everything else, my friends, is not money making, and you want to hire people to do those things as quickly as possible. So the order of hiring is also very important. An assistant to do all of these administrative things, and then also very importantly is a transaction coordinator to handle everything that happens during an escrow. So those 30 days or 45 days that your client's in escrow while you're waiting for them to close, you do not want to be doing any of that paperwork, because that is how you can quickly jump on what I call the real estate cash flow roller coaster. And what that is you spend all this time getting clients, then you service those clients, and then during that time, you're not doing any client attraction. So when those deals close, all of a sudden you look up and you have no clients again. You don't want that to happen to you. In fact, I am so passionate about this area of real estate that I co-founded a transaction coordinator company called ExactTC. I feel that we're the best in the business. Check out this quick video from ExactTC, and I hope you'll consider working with us when you get your next transaction.
You didn't get into real estate to send out disclosures, chase down DocuSign signatures, or upload stuff into your compliance system, did you? Wouldn't you rather be selling more homes, or just hanging out by the pool, or watching Netflix, or hanging out with your baby? Oh, there's the baby. Like this. Partnering with our team at ExactTC is a total no-brainer. You get the deal under contract, and we do the rest. Click Launch Transaction on our website at exacttc.com, and boom! In less time than it took you to watch this video, you'll be living the high life as the big boss of your own real estate empire. That's right, we even get applause.
All right, next up, number 6 is a question that I get all the time. And when you get your real estate license, one of the first decisions you are going to have to make is what brokerage should you join? Well, let me give you a little bit of a history, because I have been in so many different brokerages and models. When I first started in real estate, I actually left my job as an attorney and I started my own brokerage. I got my broker's license and I said, why do I need to work for a brokerage? I could just keep all the money myself. Well, you guys, what I learned quickly is that when you are a broker, a friend of mine told me that you become broker. And that is very, very true, because as the broker, when you own your own company, what you have to do is all the expenses, all the liability, all the risk is on you. The E&O insurance, the paper, the supplies, everything that you need, you have to pay for. And so owning your own company, although it sounds amazing in theory, is actually, in my opinion, not the best way to go in real estate, but that is one option, and I have done it. The next model that you can look at is what I call the traditional split brokerage model. Think Coldwell Banker, Century 21, Prudential, all of these old school companies that charge you a commission split based on what you make. So in the old days, it was 50-50. Now it's probably more like 70-30, 80-20, just depending on where you are. But essentially, every time you make a sale, for every dollar you make, your brokerage is going to take a percentage of that all the time, all year long. Next year, doesn't matter. There is no limit. They're just going to take a percentage of what you make. So the more money you make, the more money they make. And that is an old traditional model that I believe is a dinosaur in the industry. And the reason I believe that is that you're a small business owner, so you have to look at your expenses. One of your main expenses is how much money you're paying your brokerage. And the question you always want to ask yourself is, am I getting back the value in the money that I spend? So if you're a top producer, and let's just say you make $1 million in gross commission income and your split's 20% and you're paying your brokerage $200,000, are you getting back $200,000 of value? Who knows? Well, back in the day, probably about 30 years ago now, enter a company called Keller Williams. And what Keller Williams did is they introduced the commission cap. And I was at Keller Williams for quite some time, so I'm very familiar with the model. It is a good company. What happens with Keller Williams is that you pay a commission split, but only up to a certain cap. So once you've paid the cap into the company, now you don't have to pay anymore. That was revolutionary at the time, and a whole bunch of agents left all these traditional brokerages and went to Keller Williams. At that time, there was also a company called RE/MAX, of course, still around, and RE/MAX works similarly. They have a very high split and a low commission that you pay them, but they have a whole bunch of other fees and things like that. So they're more akin to the traditional brokerage model than Keller Williams. And so that was very fashionable for a long time. They also introduced something called profit share, which was also revolutionary, where they pay a percentage of the profit of the office to the agents. Now, These days, a new model came out a little while ago, which was based on not only a cap, but also a revenue share. And that company, of course, was EXP. Now, EXP, the founders of that company actually started at Keller Williams. They copied a lot of the things that Keller Williams had. And they are a revenue share model versus a profit share model. So what that means is that they actually share 50% of all the revenue that the company makes, and they give that back to the agents for helping the company grow. I will talk about that more in depth on another video, but for now, what you need to know is that you have to make a decision between these models. Now, I hate to beat a dead horse, but if you book a business strategy call, we can go over exactly where you are now, or if you haven't decided, and I'm happy to steer you in the right direction because, again, I have worked at all of these different companies, and I've even had my own. I've been an owner of an office, of a franchise, and so I can share with you what is best in your particular situation. All right, number 7 thing that you really need to know before getting your real estate license is that the intangibles in real estate really do matter. And what do I mean by the intangibles? What I'm talking about is things like your mindset, the culture that you're a part of, the group or system that you're a part of, the coaching that you have, the schedule that you are following, and everything else that goes into your real estate career. Now, these things, I know they might sound like airy-fairy or whatever. Who needs that? Just give me the rock bottom. I want to know exactly what's going on, what to do, the skills. Those are important, but I will tell you that those intangibles, who you're surrounding yourself with, and all of those things that go with it are actually extremely important in real estate. And here's why. Real estate can be a very, very lonely business. You're out on an island all by yourself, and like I said earlier in this video, there really isn't anyone there to help you, to tell you what to do if you don't purposely do it, because for the most part, people aren't that interested. They're interested in their own careers. So that's why it is so critical to plug into that right system to make sure that you're getting all of that stuff that you need to keep you positive, to keep you motivated when things are down or when things aren't going your way. And that will undoubtedly happen to you in real estate. It happens to me. It happens to everyone. Doesn't matter what level of production you're doing. And so who you associate with and where you put yourself is super critical and super important. And that actually leads me to a very important question, which is number 8 on the list. And that is, what is the best structure to work in? Should you work by yourself? Should you work on a team? Should you work in a group? And for the longest time, I ran a real estate team at various brokerages, and I thought, hey, the team is absolutely the best structure. And on that team, what we used to do is we used to share commission. So if one of the team agents did a transaction, they would pay a percentage of their commission into the team. And that is one way to do it. And that's actually a great way to learn as a new agent, because you get all of the knowledge and potentially all of the leads and things like that on that team. On your own, it's going to be a longer road unless you plug into some coaching or otherwise get support and systems that you need. Now, there is a third way, and that is to partner with a top producing group. And the terms group and team could be used interchangeably, but when you partner with a top producing group that could provide all of the coaching and training and support and everything that you need, but not necessarily take a split, and that is an option for you that we could talk about on a strategy call when you partner with, for example, my group, because you get all the benefits of being on a team, but you don't get the drawbacks of having to pay an extra commission split. So now that opportunity is available, I have definitely changed my tune, and I believe that is probably the best way to go. But again, we can chat about that when you book your call. All right, so I've given you 8 things that you absolutely need to know before getting your real estate license. If you have comments or questions, or there's something maybe I haven't covered before I give you the last one, please throw them down below, and I will personally answer all of those. And I'm so excited for you in your real estate career because I'm so passionate about the business. So number 9 step, or number 9 thing that you definitely need to know is the game plan. Now that you've watched this video and I've given you the complete overview of everything you need to know. Number 1, of course, subscribe to this channel so that you get everything that I talk about and all of this value and information if you're finding value in it. Number 2, of course, you got to get your license. You can't do real estate without a license. Otherwise, that's called unlicensed activity. You can get in a lot of trouble in most, maybe all states. So go to Calibri Real Estate, follow the link below, get your license wherever you are in whatever state you're in, and then book a business strategy call so we could talk about your business. We'll see if maybe partnering with our group is something that'd be great for you. If it is, awesome. If not, I will guide you in the right direction. But either way, my passion is to help you succeed. And on this channel, I'm sharing interviews, I'm sharing tips, tricks, and everything else to shortcut your way to success. And on that note, watch this video for some more knowledge and some more value so that you can achieve all of your goals in real estate.